Let's look at this example. This example is about graph the equation of y equals 2/5 times x plus negative 8/5. In order to graph a line of the equation, you know, this is the line of the equation because the exponent of x is 1, the exponent of y is also 1. So we know this is a line. One needs to find out 2 points on the line. Once you have 2 points, okay, let's say this one, you can connect it. So we need 2 points. With 2 points, one can also find out the slope of a line. We will talk about this in a second. Now let's find out 2 points. If we let x be 0, then here x is 0. Okay, you replace x with 0. Then 2/5 times 0 plus negative 8/5. 0 times 2/5 is 0, then plus negative 8/5, then you have a negative 8/5. Okay, so you have a value y. And then 0, negative 8/5 is on the line. So where is that point? 0, x is 0. Y is negative 8/5. So then you have the point right here. Okay, you can see the line goes through. The line goes through this point. So this negative 8/5 right here is actually the y-intercept. Okay, y-intercept is not x-intercept. Okay. Now we need another point. Another point, we can do the same thing. Previously was let x be 0. Actually, you can let x be anything. You can let x be y, be 1, and you solve for y. Is also fine. Okay. Now let's find another point. Another point is that we let y be 0. Okay. If we let y be 0, previously this was the equation. If y is 0, then right hand side you have a 2/5 times x. Y is 0, and then 2/5 times x plus the constant negative 8/5. So you want to solve for x. Both sides you may add 8/5. So you may cancel that. And then you have a 0 here, and the right hand side is 2/5 times x. So it's right here. Left hand side is 0 plus 8/5, and then that's 8/5. Both sides times 5. You can cancel this 5 with that. You have a 2x left over. 5 cancel each other, you have 8 left. Okay, both sides divided by 2. You may cancel this 2 with this 2. So you have x equals 4. With x equals 4, then you can see if you let y be 0, you have a value x. So those two together, remember, they are not separate points. They are single point in this case. Y is 0, you put here. This is y. Okay, this is value y, and then this is value x. Okay, so you have a 4, 0. 4, 0. 4, 0, where is that? On the line. And then you can see x is 4, y is 0. Okay? So you have 2 points now. Then you connect it. That will be the graph. So here I have a note, is that you can also find out the slope. You know, after we get 2 points, one is 4, 0, another is 0, negative 8 over 5. You can calculate the slope rise over run. Rise is the difference of y, so it's 0. This is y, okay. This is also y. So 0 minus negative 8 over 5. That's the difference of y. And 4 minus 0, that's the difference of x. That's the run. Horizontal distance is the run. And we know negative is positive 8 over 5. Okay, 8 over 5 divided by 4. Remember, divided by 4, there is a 1 below 4. Okay, because 4 divided by 4 is still 4. Here is division, you flip it. 4 over 1 comes to be 1 over 4. You times those two together. And then 8, 4, you may cancel 4 here. And here you have a 2. So it's actually 2 over 5. 2 over 5 is the slope. That's rise over run. That's the slope. 2 over 5, look at it here. Is here 2 over 5? Okay, this is actually 2 over 5. So this one is actually the slope. Okay, so if you have an equation which has y stands alone, the coefficient of x on the right hand side, and then this coefficient 2 over 5 in this case will be the slope, and the constant will be the y-intercept. You see? Okay, if it's negative intercept. If it's positive, that's above x-axis. Okay, but anyway, if you have a y stands alone on one side of the equation, the coefficient of x will be the slope. You don't need to do these things anymore, to do this rise over run. Okay, so you do in an algebraic way. You move all the x, isolate y, and you can find out the coefficient of x will be the slope. The constant will be the y-intercept. So this form is called slope-intercept form. Okay. Now, with the slope-intercept form, we can have an application here. The application is that find a general form of an equation of the line through the point A that satisfies the condition. So a line goes through this point, 7, negative 6. That's the given point, and perpendicular to this line. So we have 2 steps to solve this question. Step 1 is to find out the slope of this one. How to find out? We now isolate y. Now, for this x minus 7y equals 14, minus x on both sides, so you have a negative 7y stands alone on the left-hand side. Right-hand side, you have a negative x plus 14. Now, both sides divided by negative 7. Negative 7 cancel each other, so you have a 1. 1 times y is just y. So you may not need to write 1. You just need to write y. Okay. Now, there is a y in front of x. Negative 1 divided by negative 7, you have a positive 1/7. And then 14 divided by negative 7, you have a negative 2. So this is the slope of this equation, because it has a form which is called slope-intercept form. In this case here, we don't really need that negative 2, the y-intercept. But we need the slope for the step 2. Because we have a point and we have a slope, then we are ready to find out the equation. Okay, so step 2, find the equation. The slope of the wanted equation is negative 7. How did we know? It's because negative 7 times 1/7 is negative 1. Why do we need negative 1? Because two lines are perpendicular. If we have two lines perpendicular to each other, then the product of the slopes should be negative 1. Okay. Now we have the slope. We know this is the given point, this is the slope, and then by point slope form, the equation would be slope you put here, and the point was 7, negative 6. So y minus negative 6, y minus negative 6, and x minus 7. This is 7. So x minus 7. Okay. Slope you put in front of this whole expression. Now, you have a negative 7x. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. Negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. Okay, you want to do by distributive property. Now, y minus negative number, you have y plus 6, because negative negative, you got positive. Here we want is that we want to find out a general form. You see, we're close to be done. Plus positive 7 on both sides, you cancel this negative positive 7x. And then 7x plus y is 7x plus y plus 6 on the left. Right hand side, those two are cancelled, so you have a 49 here. And then minus 6. Minus 6, you cancel this positive negative, so you have a 49 minus 6, which is 43. And this form is you have variables on the left, and you have a constant on the right. This form is called a general form. Okay, so this is the application for slope-intercept form. Okay, so here in this question there are two steps. Step 1 is to find out the slope in an algebraic way. Okay, if you have a form like that with y stands alone, make sure the sign of y is positive. Actually, here is positive. If it were negative, that would be different. It has to be single y stands alone. And then the constant or the coefficient of x will be the slope. If you get the slope, then based on the point slope form, you are given a point, you have a slope, which is the negative reciprocal of this one. And then you are able to write down the equation, and then change the equation to the general form with variables on one side, with constant on the other side of the equation. Okay. All right. I'll see you next time.